Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to another day of reading research. Yesterday, you did a great job asking and answering questions about your animals for your research. Today, I'm going to teach you in order to be an expert on a topic, it is important to begin using technical vocabulary or lingo of that subject. Let's take a look at our learning progression to help us understand what we are doing today. So in third grade, our learning progression says, as I read about a topic, I keep track of new words the text is teaching me, the ones that seem most important, and use them to teach others about the topic. So at the end of this video today, you want to be able to not only understand new words about your topic, but also be able to use them when talking about them. We want to be able to talk the talk about our animals. So I am going to model for you today how to do this with penguins. Right now in front of you, you see a word bank for my penguin topic. I have created this word bank by looking back in my notes of words that maybe aren't familiar to me before I started research, and I think that these would be good vocabulary words to teach about my penguins. And I'm going to be focusing on two words today. Not that. All right. So I am going to be focusing on blubber and rookeries. So let's take a look at my text that I used. So here we have in the top here, it says the heading is black and white. And the information says, the text says, emperor penguins are black and white with yellow markings around their heads. Dense feathers and blubber protect the birds from the cold. So the vocabulary word that I am focusing on here is blubber, right? And it says here, dense feathers and blubbers protect the birds from the cold. So I am using my context clues to help me figure out what the word blubber is, because in this text, it doesn't give me the definition unless I go to the glossary, but I can use my context clues. And I think blubber is like fat, but I'm not going to call their blubber fat because that doesn't show that I'm an expert on penguins. So when talking about the fat that keeps the penguins warm, we would use the word blubber. I am now going into my Padlet and adding my comment about the word blubber. If you see here, I have already added my comment and it says blubber is the part of the penguin that is their fat. It's exactly what it is. But I wouldn't call a human being or my layer of skin fat, or I wouldn't call it blubber. That wouldn't be very nice. It's all about the penguin. The blubber keeps the penguin warm just like the fur keeps animals such as dogs, cats, and bears. So here I have added my vocabulary word that I'm now an expert on, what that vocabulary word means in my own words, and I've also shared an example of what the blubber does. It keeps them warm, just like fur. All right, so now let's take a look at our second vocabulary word that we want to use to show that we are experts on penguins. And that word is rookeries. This is definitely a word that I wouldn't use talking to my friend about anything. So let's take a look at what the text says about rookeries to figure out what we think the meaning is. Once a year, emperor penguins migrate to their rookeries. Some walk up to 100 miles or 161 kilometers. Females and males pair up after the long trip. Soon, females lay one egg each. Huh, rookeries. Well, I wouldn't say that this is a place that penguins spend majority of their time because in the text it says once a year. And then I see over here it says that the females lay one egg each. So in my mind, and using context clues, I think rookeries is the place where penguins go to lay their eggs and have their babies. And they migrate there once a year. So now I'm going to use what I've come up with and add that vocabulary word into my Padlet. Let's go there now. All right, so I'm going to add my comment. And remember, when we add our comment, we press the plus sign and we add our names in. And now I'm going to leave my comment by adding my vocabulary word and what I have thought that vocabulary word is. So rookeries are places penguins go to lay their eggs once a year. This reminds me of a hospital for humans when mommies and daddies go to have a baby. I'm going to highlight my vocabulary word by pressing it and pressing the highlight button. And I also can bold my vocabulary word. So now I have my expert vocabulary word, rookeries. I've explained how I figured out what rookeries is, and I also gave an example of what it reminds me of, so how I can connect it to my life as well. But we're not penguins, so it's important that we have these expert vocabularies. All right, boys and girls, so that is the video for today on how to use vocabulary words to show that you are an expert on a topic. Make sure that you work really hard on this today by looking at your own vocabulary words for your animal. This is also important because not only do you need to be able to explain what a vocabulary word is in writing, but you also want to be able to talk the talk about the vocabulary. And you will be showing that on Friday in your reflection videos on Flipgrid. So work hard, be awesome like always, and find those vocabulary words to show you're an expert. Until next time, see ya.